Hi everyone. Today I'm out and about, and I thought I'd record this week's video. And I wanted to talk about something that is quite important. I mean, we're starting off with Mental Health Awareness Month, and I thought it would be nice to do a segment on mental health, but focusing on unemployment and its effect on mental health. Yeah, so it's a big one, and I'll just briefly speak about it. And I'm hoping that I can have another conversation with somebody who has had an experience with unemployment and how it's affected their mental health. But for now, I think I just want to talk about how unemployment impacts mental health, especially because in South Africa, I think our youth, we have about 60 or a little over 60% youth unemployment. And that's outrageous. And so we'd want to then think about what is the mental state of this youth population that is sitting at home and unable to find employment. Um, yeah, so I think firstly, I want to talk about the social isolation that that comes with unemployment. You know, sometimes you're even afraid to hang out with friends. You know, I think I've also had experience with unemployment, and you find that when friends want to go out, you tend to want to not go out because you can't contribute, and that impacts how you relate with other people. So then there's that social exclusion where you can't participate socially. And one of the things that we need the most when we are having challenges is community and social support. But if you don't feel comfortable enough to be around people, then how are you meant to then get that social support that you require? So it is quite a two-sided or double-edged sword where one impacts the other and vice versa, but you need both. You need that social interaction, you need that community, and due to the unemployment, you seem to feel uncomfortable with um, that community engagement, right? And then we find that people really engage in negative forms of coping where they become dependent on alcohol, and sometimes it becomes really extreme where they start using drugs and narcotics. And we see a lot of our youth in the townships, and they are sitting at home, waking up to go and buy that beer or smoke marijuana. I think that's a big one with our youth, even in schools, which is concerning. But we find that most of our youth are now engaging in um, marijuana use, and that is quite concerning because it does impact. Sorry about that. They're fighting. It does impact your mental health. It impacts the way your mind works. Uh, like alcohol and drugs, they alter your state of mind. And oftentimes, when you are having a challenge in life, um, you don't require more things that are going to alter your state of mind because already going through the challenge is an altered state of mind in its own. And it's often hard to get off these drugs and alcohol use that people get into when they are struggling. Um, but yeah, so that is one thing. That's a one way that unemployment um, impacts your mental health. And then there's that chronic stress and burnout where you're consistently stressed all the time because you're applying. I know most of the conversations we have or we see on social media, people will be posting about how they have been applying, like, and they'll write the number of emails that they've been using, I mean, they've been sending out. And that is a constant stress where I am applying, but I keep getting rejected, or I'm not even getting a response. And that can cause emotional fatigue and exhaustion, where you just feel like I can't do this anymore and I am just unable to continue. And yeah, people really do struggle with stress and burnout from unemployment because it is such a hard, or challenging rather. It's a very challenging experience to go through, where you're qualified. You know, most of the times we hear on social media young people talking about, I graduated 4 years ago and I still haven't found the job that I applied for, which which is hard. And I think we really need to really invest more in having conversations about youth and even older people who are unemployed, and how that impacts their state of mind, and how that um, can really um, impact their mental health, and how we can then support them in that. Another thing is there's loss of self worth. You know, when you're unemployed and firstly at home, maybe they don't understand, and you now have to carry your weight in the house. And because you're unemployed, everybody expects you to clean, or they expect you to do, like, look after the your little brother, whatever. And nobody's saying you shouldn't be helpful in the house, but it sort of becomes an expectation that because you're unemployed, you are supposed to be doing certain particular tasks around the house to compensate for the fact that you're not um, you're not contributing financially. And that can bring about um, that loss of self-worth, and feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're not seen or heard. And it's a big part of that unemployment challenge, where you feel that nobody understands firstly, and that you're also just struggling to be seen and to be heard. And you don't think, because you keep getting rejections from the applications that you're putting in, then it feels like nobody can see you. And that could really negatively impact your mental health. So I mean, yeah, it's a there's I'm just giving an overview, and I really would love to have this conversation with someone who has the experience, who may have gone through unemployment and now has subsequently found a way out of that challenge, so that we can just see they have um, how they have overcome, and how they stayed mentally healthy, or if not, how did they get out of that that unhealthy mental state. um, so I think what I would like to talk about also is how can you then uh, safeguard your mental health. I think definitely safeguarding your mental health means you need to have social support, invest in social support, invest in community, invest in your friends and your family. Talk to them, reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. That's another one, is never fear seeking help, asking for help. In Zulu, there's a saying that says, "Ingane ngakhali ifele mbelekweni," which means a child that does not cry will die on their mother's back, basically. And you really, we need to. This is a big lesson that we need to teach ourselves, is how to ask for help without feeling guilty, because sometimes we feel guilty for even asking for help, let alone ashamed. The guilt of asking someone else for help, um, and feeling like you're being a problem to them. you know I think it's such an honor when someone asks for help from you, and because that means they feel safe with you. That means they feel like you are a person that they can count on. So that's an honor. And I think we need to really encourage more people to seek help. And then be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. You are doing your best. You are an amazing human being. And what's meant for you will find you. Don't give up. In all of that you're doing, be kind to yourself. Have a healthy routine. Do not seek comfort from drugs and alcohol. That's just going to really make things worse for you. Other than it being a financial burden, it will really impact you negatively in the long run. So try find healthy ways, whether it's walking around the neighborhood, playing soccer. I mean, we have soccer fields and things around our neighborhoods. Go play soccer with the kids there, or take a walk and back. Start a walking club in your community, or start an exercise club. Like, find healthy ways to 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 um to use your time and to cope with the challenges that you're facing, because it is not easy, but you can overcome it, and you can stay mentally healthy through the challenge. And then flexibility and open-mindedness. I think sometimes we get so caught up with the plan, and these are the steps that I'm going to take so that the plan works. And sometimes the steps that we've put aside for ourselves are not the steps, and sometimes we need to go up, uh like a slide, or go down a slide, or you know, I think we really need to be open to experiences and different ways of getting to where we want to go. Um, so, I mean, personally, I have worked in administration. I've been a PA, I've been a secretary. This was prior to me being able to work as a social worker. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, I learned a lot about administration. I think people really don't understand how important it is to have administration skills. And so that's come in handy now as a social worker. And I'm grateful that I took those opportunities and I used them for my benefit. And I think that's my whole thing about being flexible and open minded, is don't look at a particular opportunity and think, this is not exactly what I'm looking for, so I won't go down that road. I think we should be open to all types of opportunities and see how they can help us build the steps towards where we want to go. Yeah, so I hope this has been somewhat informative and engaging, and also helping us think a little bit more about our unemployed friends and family, and understanding that they may seem like they're doing fine, but sometimes you need to check in and find out how they're really doing, because being unemployed really does impact your mental health negatively. And we need to be safe spaces for those people and allow them that space to talk, to vent, and to seek help, um, and to hold their hands. But yeah, if you're unemployed, and you're watching this, please be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, love yourself. You are worthy. You will get your opportunity. Be open minded and understand that um, we often go through things, and later in life we see how they have built us and made us the strong individuals that we are today. Um, yeah, take it as a time of growth, learning, and self discovery, and also use it wisely and take care of your mental health, as that is a part is it's a crucial part to your success. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and we will be back hopefully next week with another um, short segment um, relating to mental health, as this is Mental Health Month. So, yeah, thank you very much, and goodbye.